Hello fellow people persons, this is Nate for MMO Play bringing you a first look at Felicia Hardy, otherwise known as Black Cat, brand new melee hero for recently rebranded MMO Marvel Heroes. Fans have been waiting a very long time for her release as the final member of last year's Advanced Pack 2. Her launch paves the way for the fresh year of new heroes, including fellow Spider-Man nemesis Green Goblin, set to release sometime this month. Felicia is especially exciting for some due to her status as anti-hero, often the unconventional antagonist with roots deeply embedded in the darkness of her past. Refusing to be a victim, she trains physically and mentally to become an incredibly agile and cunning warrior, nestled comfortably in that gray area between good and evil, while playing with poor Spidey's emotions at every available opportunity. She also hearts shiny things. With the power to subconsciously affect probability in her favor, she uses her athleticism and manufactured luck to pilfer from the rich and give to the bestest of charities, herself. Black Cat has always been a favorite of mine, primarily because she feeds that anti-hero desire, but with the slimming silhouette of leather and claws. There's also the whole stealing from the rich thing, which I thoroughly sympathize with. Probably not the wisest thing to admit, but there you go. In Marvel Heroes, Felicia functions as an assassin, slipping in and out of stealth gracefully with skills specific to her stealth form, and an active buff that puts her in a state of invisibility, a heightened version of stealth that is maintained while attacking. I found that, though she's fairly squishy, her near-infinite stealth combined with defensive team-ups such as Groot or Spider-Man allow her to dish out damage while keeping the enemy unaware of her practically indefinitely. She also has an extremely powerful and unique mechanic that's a nod to her spirit animal, the cat, which is a little bar up of her skills 9 notches, equating to 9 lives. If and when Black Cat loses all of her health, she immediately regenerates a percentage of it and can continue fighting without stopping, falling, dropping to a knee, or otherwise feeling any of the typical effects of death. This essentially allows her to die 9 times before actually needing a rescue, and further, these do not count as deaths. This is extremely important for modes like Hollow Sim and Raiding, where death counts can prematurely end a battle. Until Felicia drops to a knee, she isn't considered dead. Now, players still have to be cautious, as the health regenerated is just enough to get to safety and pop a medikit, but staying in the middle of battle or being affected by a damage over time ability can eat through multiple lives in the blink of an eye. Much like her comic book counterpart, Black Cat has multiple means of offense. She relies on a combination of whips and claws to take down her foes with the help of traps and gadgets. The whip sacrifices some damage for a mild range AoE combination slashing across multiple foes at once, while the claws favor high single target damage and sacrifice for that AoE ability. Personally, I feel that Felicia is the first stealth-based character that Gazillion truly nailed. While other characters use stealth to drop aggro or refresh skills, Black Cat's stealth mechanic is the focus of her kit and functions almost passively, whereas the stealth skills of other characters feel more situational. For instance, one of my favorite combos keeps me stealth for an extraordinarily long time while buffing my abilities and giving me access to 2 fairly spammable execution skills, absolutely demolishing the health of wounded bosses. She can go from a non-cooldown flip that stealths her, to a smoke bomb that makes her invisible, attack a bunch of times while staying in stealth, and to her signature ability that refreshes her smoke bomb, to that now refreshed smoke bomb, attack some more while bosses completely ignore you, then whoosh, ultimate ability that refreshes all cooldowns, so back to smoke bomb, attack incredibly fast while stealth thanks to the buff of Felicia's ultimate, signature, which once again refreshes smoke bomb, one more smoke bomb, more tagging. This is assuming the boss in question isn't already dead halfway through all of this, which is unlikely, and the whole time, he never even knew you were there. Now, this is not to say that other stealth-style characters like Black Widow or Nightcrawler aren't enjoyable, but rather that Felicia is the first character that really satisfies me the way games like Skyrim or Fallout do, where I can take out a whole building full of people that remain completely oblivious to my presence. There's just something incredibly badass about the precise, quiet, understated domination of your enemy that I find thrilling, and Felicia is my first opportunity to experience that in Marvel Heroes. Felicia is also a brutal character, and I don't just mean that figuratively. Her kit is geared towards crit and brutal damage, and I find myself having to actively avoid crit-based artifacts simply because she already has so much of it. With her Fortune and Favor specialization, my crit and Brutal Strike ratings were near or at 60% even without the all-powerful artifacts like Gem of the Cursed, allowing me to explore other options such as raw damage or defense while still enjoying frequent amounts of big, bold numbers. This is a path I applaud Gazillion on, as critical and brutal strike ratings are currently the endgame pursuit for gear, homogenizing character development to the point of boredom. By incorporating these stats directly into her kit, this opens a number of gear builds as yet largely unexplored by the average metagamer. My only criticism of Black Cat is that she takes a while to get going. Players will find themselves extremely spirit-starved until late game and struggling to maintain damage and stealth because of that. Without quick kills and stealth to intervene, her squishiness becomes almost unbearable, potentially leaving players frustrated with skills either on cooldown or draining spirit faster than it can recover. However, those who hang tight will find that Felicia absolutely blossoms around level 50 and will repay you well for sticking with her for so long. While I find that, with the right gear, every character within the Marvel Heroes roster can be a lot of fun to play, I also want to acknowledge that between Black Cat's launch and Deadpool's relaunch, developer Gazillion have really upped the ante. The sentiment seems to echo among the community, as both these characters feel especially fluid and powerful, particularly following a series of somewhat botched releases of War Machine, Blade, and Iron Fist. While those characters continue to be tweaked in effort to find their proper fit within the roster, the trajectory for Black Cat and Deadpool were very clear and very successful, making them especially standout additions to the cast of characters. And that's it for Black Cat. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please be sure to subscribe for future info on Marvel Heroes Greatest, and let us know in the comments what you think of the character.